would replace Vladimir Putin if he died? According to the Russian Constitution, the Prime Minister, Mikhail Mishustin, would step in as acting president of the Russian Federation. He would only be a placeholder and his powers would be limited. He'd have to call for an election to be held within 90 days to elect a new president. With that being said, the better question is who might the Russian people choose to lead them in the next election? The opposition in Russia would like to place Alexei Navalny on the ballot. However, the fact that he has been convicted on trumped-up charges disqualifies him from holding office under Russian law. That raises the question, who then, if not Navalny? Nothing would preclude Mishustin from running for president, but he suffers from a serious lack of name recognition. After Dmitry Medvedev stepped down as prime minister in January of 2020, a list of 4 names for prime minister was given to Vladimir Putin to choose from. Mishustin's name was not on the list. Putin made the choice independent of the Duma's recommendation. He is seen as a prime minister with no ambitions for the presidency. It is believed that some members of Putin's Siloviki, his inner circle, may have designs on the presidency. Well, who are these people? Among the group are Sergei Ivanov, Viktor Ivanov, Sergei Shoigu, Igor Shchetsin, Nikolai Patrushev, Alexander Bortnikov, and Sergei Naryshkin. Let's look at who these people are and who else might be considering a run if anything happens to Putin. Sergei Ivanov currently is Putin's special representative for environmental activities, ecology, and transport. Like Putin, he's a former KGB agent. He was the secretary of the Security Council of Russia under Boris Yeltsin, having been appointed to the job in November of 1999. When Vladimir Putin assumed the presidency, upon Boris Yeltsin's resignation, Ivanov was appointed as Minister of Defense. As Minister of Defense, he tried to make many changes toward making the Russian army more professional and downsized the draft. In 2005, he was appointed Deputy Prime Minister. He was seen as having the inside track for the 2008 presidential nomination for the United Russia Party, but Dmitry Medvedev was chosen instead. In 2008, he was appointed as Vladimir Putin's chief of staff. He held that position until August of 2016 when Putin replaced him. Viktor Ivanov, no relation, former head of the National Narcotics Service of Russia, is also a former KGB agent. Since 2007, he has been deputy head of the presidential staff for personnel appointments and is considered one of Putin's closest allies. Nikolai Patrushev is the secretary of the Security Council of Russia, a position he has held since 2008. Prior to that, he was director of the Federal Security Service, the FSB, from 1999 to 2008. He has known Vladimir Putin since the 1970s when they both worked in the Leningrad KGB. He is hawkish toward the U.S. and the West in general and has promoted many conspiracy theories. At 72 years old, he is seen as one of the likeliest people to succeed Putin. Alexander Bortnikov has been the head of the FSB since 2008. An individually honest person compared to his peers, he nonetheless has led the government's drive to suppress dissent at home and subversion abroad. He is also a former KGB agent. See a pattern forming here. He and Putin met in the 1970s when they both worked at the KGB's Leningrad offices. He has been criticized for trying to legitimize Stalin's Great Purge. Although he is a member of Putin's Siloviki inner circle, only one other head of the FSB or its predecessor KGB has ever ascended directly to the top political leadership position, and that was Yuri Andropov back in the 1980s. Sergei Naryshkin is the current head of the SVR, a position he's held since 2016. The SVR is the successor of the KGB First Directorate, which handled foreign intelligence. He was chairman of the State Duma from 2011 to 2016 and Kremlin Chief of Staff from 2008-2012. In 2004, he was appointed deputy head of the Economic Department of the Russian Presidential Administration. Since September of 2004, he has been a minister, chief of staff of the government of Russia. In the 1990s, he obtained a degree in economics from the International Management Institute of St. Petersburg. However, in 2015, it was revealed on the website dissernet.org that more than half of the text was plagiarized from other publications. It is believed that he and Vladimir Putin met while they were both attending the KGB higher school when they were both students there. There are some potential presidential candidates for the Russian top job who are not former KGB members. Sergei Shoigu has been the Russian defense minister since 2012. He is also chairman of the Council of Ministers of Defense of the Commonwealth of Independent States, also since 2012. Prior to that, he was Minister of Emergency Situations from 1991 to 2012. In that position, he became popular for his hands-on management style and high visibility during emergencies such as floods, earthquakes, and acts of terrorism. His appointment as defense minister has been seen as a way for Putin to avoid putting too much strength in the hands of the former KGB agents in his administration. Dmitry Medvedev is the current deputy chairman of the Security Council of Russia. He served as prime minister of Russia from 2012 to 2020. Prior to that, he was the first deputy prime minister of Russia from 2005 to May of 2008. Prior to that, he was chief of staff of the Kremlin from 2003 to November of 2005. Medvedev has the highest name recognition of any potential candidates to replace Vladimir Putin since he's already won a nationwide election. While he may be considered a hawk by the West because of comments he's made since the start of the war in Ukraine, he is seen at home as being more liberal than Vladimir Putin. During his time as president, his major initiative was a modernization program to reduce the country's reliance on oil and gas exports. The New START nuclear arms reduction treaty came into effect during his presidency. He also launched an anti-corruption campaign during his term as president. He is the youngest of the group of serious potential candidates at age 57. So there you have it. The 8 men most likely to replace Putin, were anything to happen to him in the short term. Assuming that all rumors as to Putin's health are false, changes to the Russian constitution in 2020 would allow him to serve 2 consecutive 6-year terms that do not include his current term in office. So he could remain president until 2036, when he would be 83 years old. I hope you enjoyed this and found it informative, and thank you for watching.